I sent you the meme yesterday of like the guy on Facebook Marketplace just haggling with like 40-year-old moms about their couch.
In your case, camera.
Oh, my voice just dropped an octave, dude. I don't know what just happened. Dude, I watch a lot of COD videos.
Do you ever work? It's 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. So I started off by buying a lot of like iPhones and consumer electronics and gaming devices. There was one time I bought 5 stolen iPhones from this dude who had a teardrop tattoo. He said he got them from this guy in China or something. They all turned out to be fake. So I sold them on eBay, and then the people messaged me. They're like, "Yo, dude, my iPhone's running Android," and I'm like, welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development. We talk about challenging norms. It is September 27th.
Like your best buddies talking business.
Nope. It's just nope. We still got to figure that one out offline. That's all right.
Dude, the amount of times we're gonna say we're gonna figure it out offline and never figure it out. There's no offline for anyone
Here's
that doesn't know.
The whole like best buds, the whole best buds talking about business thing, like that just has to be a feeling that the listener has.
Right. It's like when you put on your mission statement on the wall, and it's like, if you got to say it's not true, it's like, well, all right. I don't know. Self-entrepreneurship development norms.
Just figure it out, dude. Figure it
out. I'm having panic attacks.
Oh no.
Not serious, not real. It's really just me coming to the pod being like, why are we squeezing out pods? We don't have to. I got no pod because I listen to like 5 hours of Elon Musk story, but I can't talk about that. So why are we here?
Dude, it makes me think, I don't know how book pod is going to work, because it is throwing a major wrench in the FOD, which is just like,
well,
it's the only thing we're consuming right now.
20-hour audiobook, dude. We can't. We're used to 1-hour podcasts and breaking that down.
You don't read. I'll tell you what,
but
though.
I'm enjoying this, dude.
I'll tell you what, though.
This one, okay, dude, I'll table mine.
Ever since yesterday, since we hashed it out on the pod, I've just been watching drumming videos. Oh. just Johnny Bongo.
Dude, you want to see a sick drumming video? Check out Bold Introvert Salkin Tai video. That thing's sick. Little knee bongos. No, dude, if you don't know the joke, you don't know the joke. It's just me and Henry. No, a lot of sick drumming videos. That's what I was watching before this instead of preparing. But I do have some threads, dude, in case you're worried.
Come on.
Are they good threads?
Never worried.
Well, one's a business thread. I don't really think that's very exciting to people, but I'll say really quickly. I think the future of our business, like the most valuable thing that we're going to do, is have a giant Filipino email list.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the number one thing we can do. In case anyone, dude, all right. Bottom of the barrel, dude.
A giant Filipino email list.
I think like our entire business is finding the best talent. And if we can just hit people on demand with like, here's a huge referral competition, getaway, Wheel of Fortune, whatever it is, and now they all share this thing because we hit them directly. I think that's it. And we haven't really explored it in the past. We're just like pay the 50 people on our team a lot and they spread the news. But why are we paying them a lot if we can just pay the 2,000 people that we'd have on an email list a lot? And so I'm almost like, we shouldn't even have like a test task on our website. We should just collect emails. It's like, hey, interested in applying? Like, fucking put your email here and we'll hit you with the first test. And then we just have like 5 times as many emails.
Yeah, we should do that.
Oh, I didn't mean to drag you back into the business, dude. I thought we were working on it. I thought we were out of it.
That's the issue with a business thread. I'll say too, the kind of master plan is do that, collect all these emails, get our hiring top notch. We haven't figured out the demand thing. We definitely don't have product market fit.
Is this the yoga that's beating you down, dude? What's going on? You're on
Hang
that
on.
zero workout.
Hang on. Hang
my
on.
bad.
Hang on.
My bad, dude.
Hang on. I had a
Just
thought.
struggling. It didn't seem like
Hang
you
on.
wanted to be here, dude.
Hang on.
I'll do a solo pod.
No, you won't, because then you'll just have guests. God knows
Easy. Where's
how
Steph
that
Smith?
goes. Oh, it's so long ago. And then once we have the network of supply of we're really good at hiring and we figure out the product market fit thing, way long term, way downstream of all of that, we create something like maybe like an Upwork just for video or Dribbble just for video, just a pure marketplace.
Yeah.
To find the best video editors in the world, because we got them.
Well, I don't know.
Don't know how to sell them.
Applications, they've been pretty shoddy. We'll look at them some more, but I think it's a big focus if you care about the business, and honestly, like scaling our own content, it's pretty important. But are people here?
Give me
for that?
another
No,
thread.
dude, you want? All right, I'll
Give me
you
another
some goo.
thread.
Maybe the rule is start with goo. Dude, I just want your take on this. All right.
Yes.
This is
an interactive thread.
This was some Munger juice. All right. Munger, he works with Buffett, make a lot of money investing, and they talk about their philosophy on life. One of their philosophies in this book, I don't remember the name of it, but something Charlie Munger. He talks about getting older. It's like, let me just read you the passage, dude. This is a little popcorn read. This is a quote. I'm getting more experienced at aging. I'm like the man who jumped off the skyscraper at the 5th floor. Oh, fuck, dude. Sorry, guys.
It's the Founders Podcast.
Sorry, guys. Is that what
You skip a line?
I forgot an and, and then the whole thing broke down. It didn't make sense. All right, let me try again. I'm getting more experienced at aging. I'm like the man who jumped off the skyscraper and at the 5th floor on the way down says, so far, this is not a bad ride. Shouldn't have read the quote, dude. Shouldn't have read the quote. Got through the quote, realized it wasn't worth reading.
Fucking shitty quote.
Sorry, dude. I wanted to get to the part below it, but I thought the quote, because they had this is what it looks like. So that looked like the important part. It wasn't. I should have prepared. All right. Basically, it goes on to say Charlie has never had a prostate exam or PSA test, whatever that is, because he doesn't want to know if he has prostate cancer. He figures that since most men will eventually have prostate problems, why worry? Nor does he worry about California earthquakes, all the things that are inevitable he refuses to worry about.
That's interesting. Prostate seems like an easy one, and it's really easy if you catch it early to fix. So that doesn't seem wise. I like the more things that are out of your control, like earthquakes, natural disaster, news, global events. I like not caring about that. It's just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But prostate cancer, you could do something about that.
I mean, I remember hearing about people that get all these tests, because it's like the future of medicine is you get early tests.
Zero. It's the zero thread.
I don't know what it's from. Yeah, well, I figured this might get you excited. I hope you have threads, because if it turns into a Dylan podcast, we know where that goes. It was not
shirtless.
It's strip podcast, dude.
Roll the B-roll. 100 episodes naked.
And afraid, dude. Hold on. So there are all these, like, dude, focus. All these tests where you can like early detect cancer or something like that. But then like the tests often backfire because you like either like misdiagnose, or you going in to treat it often like fucks you up more than the actual test itself. There's just all this like study about the early test didn't help, because you just end up like having doctors and going to the hospital, and then you get infected at the hospital, because that's like even more likely.
Yeah.
Is this medical? Do I have any source for that?
Is this medical advice? I would prefer to know as much as possible and then make the risk reward assessments myself. Tim Urban has a piece about this. I think it's just basically like cancer is not dangerous. Late stage cancer is a killer. So like basically any cancer you can find early enough, not that hard to squash. It's stage 3 and stage 4 cancers that'll really kill you.
I wish I had this study and it wasn't 6 months ago that I read it, but it was like detecting cancer early didn't actually
remember
help
that.
with the outcome. Oh yeah, I probably sent it to you and maybe your dad or something.
Yeah, because I'm 0.
Well, that was just weird because it went against every intuitive thing that we hear of. All right, dude. I'm just throwing things out because I see you posting a lot of Zero stuff. We have a habits
Come on.
channel, and it's down to just me and you.
I do Zero's
and literally-
workout. Well, okay, so Zero is Brian. That's so funny. His name's Zero. Is Brian Johnson, and Brian Johnson does the same 1 hour workout, a full body workout with HIIT training every single day. And I was like, that dude's in great shape, and he's done all the anti-aging R&D, research and
Oh.
development. So I'm like, that's just the 80-20. Like, I'm not going to think about what I'm doing. I'm just going to do his workout that he's made public.
Yeah. Well,
I've only
gonna
done it
try
for like 3 days.
You want to do the Munger workout, dude? Here's the Munger workout. Right. I got another quote. Maybe it's not a quote. Maybe I just put it in quotes for some reason. One card. Okay. It's not a quote, but it's a paraphrase. He says basically like he treats his body like he was given a car and it's the only car he can own for his entire life. Meaning he doesn't want to like drive it. He's basically going to garage the thing the whole time and then like very selectively take it out and like drive below the speed limit. Basically, he never exercises.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. And like we know Buffett like eats McDonald's and stuff. Granted, they're reading all day and like fucking, chess players, they'll burn like 3,000 calories just playing a match. So like he's probably burning a lot of mental energy, but like in terms of testing his body, he does absolutely nothing. Which goes against our little Taleb stuff of like Taleb's like, hey, don't do like normal workouts. Like even jogging is a waste of time. Like if you're gonna work out, do like sprints and then walk. Like do the extremes, and then you just get the Munger opposite of like just do nothing.
Dude, you know what I've been thinking about a lot about? It's related. I've been thinking a lot about recently. Just like I see survivorship bias everywhere. Here's the thread for you.
Talk about Survivor, dude. 98.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what his physiology is like. That's, maybe there's some survivorship bias there. Like if he died at 65, we wouldn't be talking about him, and his habits. So I see a lot of survivorship bias. And for the people back home, that's like, it's this bias where basically like the things that continue to be around make you think, what's a good way to describe this?
My first viral clip, dude.
Survivorship bias?
It is. Yes, sir.
The jet plane with the holes in it?
Yep.
You want to explain?
That's why we're here, dude. That's why we're here. No, World War II, when they had the bombers, they were trying to figure out where they should put extra armor on the bombers so they don't get shot down. So they look at all the bombers that come back and they see they got like holes all over the wings and stuff. And they're like, oh, fuck, it's getting shot in the wings. Like we got to patch up, put more armor in the wings. It's like, no, dude, those are the bombers that came back. The ones that got shot down got shot in like the fuselage or like where the pilot is or just like all these list of 2 areas. And I almost had 3, dude. I couldn't think of parts of an airplane. And so it's like counterintuitive where you want to.
Yeah, you're basically looking at the wrong things because you're just seeing who survived. I think about this a lot in content too. I'm like, I don't know. We try and like reverse engineer a lot of people who have made it in content. But it's like they just the survivors. So there's just all kinds of biases about what worked for them.
I think it's a Peter Thiel quote or something. He's like, the next Mark Zuckerberg isn't making a social network. Or the next Sergey Brin isn't making a search engine. It's like those people were the first in their time. Like granted, like maybe you have an Instagram after, like a Twitter or something like that. But like really the true disruptors are in a totally different industry. So like when you're trying to apply their like lessons from their industry, it's kind of irrelevant. I don't know what my point was, but like
doesn't have to be one.
Doesn't have to be one. Just
it doesn't have
facts.
To be one.
Fun fact, dude. Remember when Snapple was big? What happened at that?
I don't. I actually don't. I never drank Snapple. But you seem to really like Snapple.
Well, it's like Snapple giving advice. It's like, oh, if you want to go viral, like just put like a fact under the cap. And it's like, no, that's what worked for you. And you already claimed it. So it's not going to work for everybody else. Or like us saying like, oh, do a green screen pull up. It's like, that doesn't work for anybody else.
Yeah.
That's like our thing now.
Yeah.
Granted, we copied it, but hey, that's how it goes.
I
Dude,
got one for you.
Oh,
I got
you
one
do?
for you. I do.
Well, hold on. Let me just mention before we thread transition. Last night, dude, because I'm not Munger, dude. I play sports. I test my body. I don't do the zero routine, but like I love hockey, so I'm out there. Also played soccer. Didn't get my bike stolen either. Although I was freaking out, dude. So I got my easy. This is gonna be longer than I thought. I got my soccer game, and then if you listen to that podcast, which I think is gonna be sick when it drops, a little story podcast. But I have my soccer game. Then I have a hockey game like a couple hours after. So I had a weird gap. Last week during that gap, I got my bike stolen when I went to Sweet Green. This week I went back to that Sweet Green, and dude, I just camped out. I was eyeing all the homeless people with my bike. I'm like, I dare you to try and knife this bike. I even left it, went in the Sweet Green, and I was just looking out at it. I'm like, I'm gonna step to it. No one did. It's like that show. What is it when they're like
catfish?
They'd like put a car in like
To Catch a Predator?
No, but
yeah, maybe it was Cops.
But
I
there was,
used
like,
to
a
watch the
name
show.
for, like,
Yeah, they would put out a bait car like on the west side
I think
of
it was
Chicago.
called Bait Car, dude.
Oh, was it?
Something like that.
Baited, maybe. Bait.
Something like that. It
then
kind of
they just
made me
have
want to
the-
make a YouTube channel just like Baited. I think that's also a sick format where you just take old TV shows and like make it modern. That was like MTV Cribs or something. Is like what that guy Caleb Simpson was basically doing, just ripping formats from the past that worked. But point is, okay. So I went to hockey because I'm an athlete, testing my body, and survivorship bias. You don't hit two birds with one stone. There are two rinks right next to each other. My rink game totally normal, just ripping. Scored a goal, won an Ote. My bad, dude.
Ote.
Got excited. On the other rink right next to ours, like in the middle of the game, we just see like all their players like filing back to the locker room. It was weird because like we started at the same time. But we looked at the tapes after to like figure out what happened, and someone was sending around this video, this AC unit, like this whole like giant HVAC pipe or whatever. It just like fell in the middle of the ice during a play. Dude, it came like this close to killing a guy.
Oh.
It like fucking slammed
Like a
down on me.
huge industrial HVAC
It was
unit?
like a fucking like 100 feet across the rink, just in the middle of the rink, just dropped down in the middle of the game and almost crushed this man.
Pop.
He tripped over it when he was skating backwards. It was nuts.
Oh, we're going to have to roll that B-roll.
We're gonna have to roll the.
This is where I'm like, what is your life? I was just listening to, I can't remember which episode I was listening to, but your life makes no sense. Like, I don't know many people who have an HVAC near-death experience.
Well,
Or
I
like
mean,
the
it wasn't
guy-
me. It was like one removed. I was like 100 feet
One
away from it,
removed.
or
Yeah.
200 feet
Do you
away.
play on that rink ever?
Yeah, this is the first time I played on the other rink. Normally I play in that.
That's
rink.
what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So I don't
Let
know.
me give
Maybe
you-
you just gotta
let
get
me give you-
outside more.
Let me give you a New York threat, or less, or you just be the garage car and you don't go to hockey because
Right.
you'll get squashed by an AC unit.
Oh, thought of dude.
This isn't-
suicide applause, dude.
Yeah,
just
that.
that face.
Did we ever release that episode?
No, not on
Can't.
YouTube. I think maybe
Can't.
on Spotify.
Can't. That was grim.
It's too late.
So anyway, this is a thread I've had for a couple weeks, but it's related to a hockey thread because it's a New York thread. You were texting me on the Amtrak a couple weeks ago when you were going to Rhode Island or something, and that
Rest
got
in
me
peace.
thinking. Rest in peace, Crucero. That got me thinking. Did you know that our senior year of college, I would get on a 5 a.m. Amtrak every Monday morning? I would go to New York City with about $25,000 of cash in my pocket. I would post up in a Starbucks in New York City in Midtown by Penn Station, and people would just come in all day and sell me their cameras. And then I had this huge duffel bag suitcase. After I spent my $25,000 with appointments I had set up, I would go back home to Rhode Island with a duffel bag full of camera gear. Same day, same afternoon. I'd be gone from like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't know if many people know that. I just wanted to air it out because it was
I know that should be
fucking
aired out a
nuts.
lot more. Talk about stupid stories, dude. Maybe you lived like an alternate ego life. It was like we were all mad because we could never really hang out with you because you're always just busy, like fucking packaging boxes and then getting on Amtrak like this, and you just disappear for a day, and you'd show up at night and we're like, the fuck did you do all day? Apparently, dude, you were talking to strangers, buying their camera equipment and then flipping it. But like, that's why I sent you the meme yesterday of like the guy on Facebook Marketplace just haggling with like 40-year-old moms about their couch, or like in your case, camera equipment. Oh, my voice just dropped an octave, dude. I don't know what just happened.
Welcome to 26.
Fuck,
Puberty hits.
That'd be crazy if it was just like you got to witness it. Dude, I watch a lot of COD videos. And so I was just watching a COD video right before this. And it's like the best player in the world. And he's
Do
like,
you ever work? It's 2 p.m. Eastern.
well, no, the problem is
On Wednesday. It's the middle of the week.
I have like I have lunch, and then I have this awkward gap between lunch and this podcast, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I just listen to the Must Book
Johnny
and watch COD videos.
Bongo videos, dude.
But basically, he's talking to like a squeak. He gets beat by this like 10-year-old that's a squeaker, and dude, I remember those days when I was a squeaker on the internet on COD. In case anyone cared, dude, I was a hard.
I got another thread for you.
Yeah.
I was. This is again a couple-week-old thread. My threads are a little stale, I'll admit. But this was to piggyback on a story I told about needing to get.
Could hold on. I want to squeeze more out of that because we never really learned much. Like, did
what?
you ever like out of you living this life of you're making decent money doing this?
I was making like $30,000 a year.
Yeah, which for a college student is like fucking $3 million a year.
Yeah, and it wasn't a ton of hours.
Cash.
It wasn't full time. It was by the time I like really figured it out, I was like, oh, all the inventory's in New York. Like I'm not getting inventory in Providence, Rhode Island. So I would just like message people and set up a time to. I basically, you know how like before the stock exchange, before like mercantile trade, you could just like trade crap whenever. And then the point of creating the stock exchange was to smash all of the trades into like a 9-hour workday, an 8-hour workday, 9 to 5. So that's what I was basically doing with New York.
And you need the meeting point. That's why Wall Street existed.
And you need
it's just
a
where
meeting
everyone
point.
would come to trade.
Right. So that's what I did, dude. I set up the New York Henry Exchange in a Starbucks on 37th, and it was just office hours, like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I smashed all of my appointments in there, made everyone come to me, and it was pretty good.
What would you learn about haggling? Like, say Dana comes in. She has
okay. That's a great question, Pop. No haggling. So when I first started doing the camera arbitrage thing, I would have people come meet me at Starbucks from Craigslist. I would look over their thing. We'd make a big point about it. I'd point out like some flaws, and then I would start negotiating. And one too many times, the people were just like, what the fuck? Like the price wasn't negotiable. I came out here and like, now you're going to negotiate, and they would leave. So I was like, okay, how do we eliminate that? And so then we started reading about this thing, the Ackerman model, which is a formula for negotiating. Basically, take your desired final price, and mine was like costing in all the eBay fees, the PayPal fees, the shipping, and my margin, what I wanted to make per item. So get your final price, and then your first offer is 65% of that. Your second offer is 85% of that. Your third offer is 95% of your final price. And then if you have to, you get to your final price.
And maybe so I would throw in like a mint or something. Some little
like your the fourth thing to show that you're really at your capacity is to do something in kind. You know, buy them a coffee or throw in a mint or offer to do some service, whatever. So I just started doing that. I would message people. I had a calculator that I made in like Excel sheets. So I'd take the item, I'd pop it in my calculator, see what oh my gosh. My calculator like had a scale based on mint condition, good condition, fair condition, poor condition, you know, and all of those were like plus or minus 10% price. So I would get my final price from my calculator, and then I would just message people through email the Ackerman model. So I basically when people showed up to meet me in New York by that time, it was just agreed upon
Yes.
cash. I just make sure the thing works and then cash.
And why'd you do camera gear?
Camera gear I liked because I should have made like an index for this, but I always thought of camera gear being like really dense. So it was high value items
You think
in
you can make indexes after listening to Elon Musk? The
it was
stupidity
high
index
value
of-
items in a small volume shipping.
Right, because you got a duffel bag coming back to Rhode Island on the Amtrak.
Exactly. So I could fit $25,000 of camera gear in my duffel bag, or you could buy a $25,000 car.
Which
It's like,
you
let me
kinda
get the high
did at
density
a
shit.
certain point.
Well,
Actually, I picked one up with you, the fucking Mustang or whatever that thing was.
that's a bad business to be in. That's a
But,
separate
okay,
pod.
so you're buying cameras.
But yeah, so I'm
and-
like, this is dense. Like this lens, I don't know, it's like $150. It's like tiny. This camera is like a $200 camera body. And you know, if you're buying Leica stuff, Leica, the German company, I think they're German. Their cameras are like $6,000. So that's like the ultimate density.
so
Wait, one more reason. So I started off by buying a lot of like iPhones and consumer electronics and gaming devices and tablets. What I found is I liked the demographic of camera owners because camera owners also baby their gear. Dude, there were so many times. There was one time I bought 5 stolen iPhones from this dude who had a teardrop tattoo. He came in to meet me, and
you would have bought my Super 73, dude.
Yeah. So I learned my lesson the hard way. Like I would buy an iPhone with a crappy battery or some iCloud lock or like some bullshit like that. I never had an issue with camera owners because we all baby our gear. Maybe slightly more educated as well.
So did you have
Q&A.
any like? Well, yeah. This is turning into a podcast, but I've never really asked you about this stuff too in depth.
I forgot.
So teardrop tattoo guys, like, are there weird stories of like Craigslist, like people trying to steal kidneys and stuff like that, or is it like
That
like
one was
are there
the
just like really
worst.
weird sort of like Asperger's people, or what would happen? It's like a
No,
weird
like
scenario.
so with that one, I should have just known it was too good to be true. This dude, it was like the day after the iPhone 8 came out. He was selling me like he had like 6 iPhone 8 Maxes or whatever, Pros, the big ones. And it was like $1,000 phone or an $800 phone, and he was selling them to me for $250 a piece because I was buying like 6 of them. And I was like, this must be too good to be true. And then he showed up and he looked a certain way and he had the teardrop tattoo and he was being very shady and very like antsy. He's like, dude, like, give me the cash. I got to get out of here kind of thing. And he said he got him from this guy in China or something. And at that point I was just like scared. It was like $2,500 I owed this guy. Maybe it was 10 iPhones. Fuck. And I paid him the cash and I got him home. And I was like, dude, is he tracking me? Like, because now he knows, like, I got these iPhones or I got a bunch of cash.
Right.
It was just sus. That was the worst. Other than that, everything was normal. People are mostly normal. So, you know, maybe that was 1 in 1,000 transactions.
Huh. Enough to scare you. You're out of there. Well,
No
and the
more
baby
iPhones
thing.
after that. Oh, so, and then they all turned out to be fake. So I sold them on eBay. And then the people messaged me. They're like, yo, dude, my iPhone's running Android. Like, can you explain
fuck,
that?
dude. Oh, I
Like,
forgot too,
fuck.
dude. You were running your PayPal off your ex-girlfriend's
Girlfriend.
account, and you just
Why was I
destroyed her
doing
life, right?
that? Yeah, I can't remember why. Like I had been shut down by eBay a bunch of times for different things. Like I
Dude.
still am. Dude, I have a lifetime ban from eBay. If I go on eBay, I have to do it on Athena's account. The problem was, yeah, I was on an ex-girlfriend's PayPal, and PayPal, I was doing like $250,000 a year of merchandise. So PayPal is going to send you tax documents, and it was all attached to her Social Security. So I had to sort that one out.
And I don't even think you were dating at the time. Like you had broken up after
No.
it was like you started while you were dating and then like you broke up, but
Yeah.
she was getting all these tax things.
And then I
It's
took
like,
it seriously, and then I did a lot of inventory on PayPal.
wait, so have you had a real job?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, real, like, I don't know, I babysat, I taught
No, I
piano,
mean like work at like a
I
company.
umped T-ball.
Oh, you
Oh,
worked
worked at
the Skydio.
I interned at Skydio. I worked at another startup called Give Forward like the year before.
Oh, okay.
There might be one more.
Dude, I was almost concerned about my hiring process when
You're like, this guy's got no
you
resume.
just had like flipping fake iPhones and
Yeah, but see,
Dunbar.
that's the thing. It's like once you like figure out how to make money for yourself, the algorithm in my head was just like it doesn't make sense for me to go work for somebody else.
Right.
Unless there was some crazy mission, or I've been thinking, like, reading all this Elon, I'm like, like I want to work at Tesla. Like, I don't, but I do, but I don't.
I
But
think
like,
yeah, I wonder what would happen. I would get weeded out pretty quickly. Although I don't
that's
mean
a
to steal
separate pod.
from tomorrow,
That's a
dude.
separate pod. 2 more days.
Let me see if I got all that I wanted out of this. So you haggle, you walk out with maybe a dozen cameras in your bag, and then that turns into like what? Maybe $5,000 a trip. No, that's too much. Like
So I
$2,000
was
a trip
always,
profit.
when I'm talking about that calculator, my ideal margin was 30%, which is kind of crazy that I could offer people cash on Craigslist, turn around and sell the thing on eBay later once I got kicked off Facebook Marketplace, and just capture 30% because people wanted quick cash from Craigslist.
Dude, I would
That's
do
pretty
that
good.
all the time. All I want is quick cash ever. I'll just give things away for free because I'm like, I don't even want to deal with uploading.
Exactly.
To eBay.
Exactly.
And then you just have you people, getting your 30% margin. Hey, dude, that's sweet. That's sweet. Wow.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. The best thing about it is often, this is post hoc rationalization now, but often the photographers I was buying from did some form of photo for work. So in their mind, they had already like paid off the thing. It had already done its job, its work. So they weren't trying to maximize value. That also made it a nice demographic, right? Like if I were to sell this camera I'm shooting on and just be like, I've already gotten my worth from it. I'll take half of what it's worth.
Why did you do this in the first place?
Why did I do this in the first place? To make money, make spending money.
And that was just like, like most people, when I wanted to make money, I just became a busboy.
Yeah.
But you're like,
Then you had to go, and then that was input output. You had to clock into work.
Were you thinking that? I just like never in my head was I like, I'm gonna flip something on eBay.
Yeah, I was, because
right next to me.
I was thinking that because like when I babysat for neighbors, once the kids went to sleep, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just gonna sit here on the couch for 5 hours and do nothing. So I was like, there's got to be a better way to make money where I don't have to sit and be on the clock.
So the thing about the busboy was we were like always doing something. They're like, honestly, the boss's job was to like make sure we couldn't like breathe, because if we breathe, we'd just fucking get restless, and like that's just chaos with 14-year-olds. But like I see people, I went back to talking about going back to Rhode Island on Amtrak. When I went back, I go to my town beach and I see like all these people working in like working the parking lot, and all they do is just like make sure the cars have the sticker when they drive in. That's their entire job. And it's like, if it's not a busy day, they're literally doing nothing for like 8 hours straight. I'm like,
it's like, what are they
what do
thinking?
these people do? And then like they're like just playing on their phone or something. And I'm like, I don't know if people, like, some people are just like, oh, I'm gonna start a business with this extra time, or I'm gonna read like a book and just get smarter, or I'm just gonna like go on Instagram and go through reels. Like, it's interesting, like why does that person shift? Are some people just inherently like the Instagram person versus the eBay flipper person versus the read a book?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what I do know. I think about that all the time. And the other thing I think about all the time because of that is like, I'm like, there is not enough time for me to do all of the things. I'm literally like, we talked about film photography on here. I'm like, I can't stand the fact that I'm going to die in 60 years. And like, I have so much film photography to do. So much film photography. 60 years is not enough. So yeah, like I don't know why I am that way, but I could not just like clock in and do the thing and like play video games. There's got to be something more.
Or watch video games, dude. Maybe I'm somewhere on the
watch.
spectrum there. Watch out. That's all we got.
Garden.